Hey guys, Dave and Len here. Welcome to Wargame Chat. So, let's talk about some of the games you've been playing lately, Len.
Well, since I have a little more free time, I've done stuff that would take more time. For instance, there's a thing called the Cry Havoc series. It's medieval skirmish wargaming. And one of their games is called Siege. And what there is there's one I always wanted to try, and I got a chance now, where you had a complete siege, which included, you had like 3 scenarios. The first scenario is the besieged one is bringing in supply wagons, and the more he can bring into the castle, the longer the siege will be. And of course, the other side is trying to cut them off. So you have these wild skirmishes outside of the castle. And anytime the besieged player gains the advantage during the daily turns, he can either sortie out and get more supplies, or he can attack the camp. Now, the castle player, actually, I'm playing by myself, able to get in all the supplies for the siege, so this is going to be a long one. And but when he tried to get more supplies, he was chopped to bits. Because you brought it, and also tried to sortie out to the camp, but we ended up really losing so many people that when it came for the final assault, even though it took a while, but the thing was the besieged player had like 8 crossbowmen. And even though you fire only once a turn, as opposed to the other guys twice a turn, short bow, what happened was I moved into the breach, and there were like a breach, and then I had a battering ram on another side. Battering ram started making progress and actually put a hole in the wall, so it was time to move everybody into the citadel. And the one knight remaining only had enough movement points to go up the stairs. Well, the 8 crossbowmen all took a shot at him and killed him. And of course, with no knights, the siege is over. So that was a close game. Also, I played Royal Navy. I finally got around to playing the hypothetical scenario in which the Prince of Wales and the Repulse meet the Japanese fleet. In real life, the Japanese Air Force got to them first. There's a daytime scenario and a nighttime scenario. Daytime one ended up with tactical victory for the Japanese. But I replayed the last turn, and what happened was I could have the remaining Japanese dreadnought. He was if he did, then it would have been a stalemate. And then I tried the night one, which is ended up being a tactical victory. But the Japanese filled the waters with torpedoes, and the Prince of Wales went down. Because this was a tough one for the Japanese, because basically their guns couldn't hurt the Prince of Wales. I mean, they could do stuff like hit the secondary armament or the bridge, but other than that, there was like nothing. But meanwhile, the British had the guns big enough to punch holes in any Japanese dreadnought that would show up, even at long range. So it was an interesting. But the problem is the Japanese had the daylight scenario. They had They had 3 times as many destroyers. And in Japanese one, they had like more cruisers. They had lots of torpedoes, so the waters were being filled with torpedoes. So
cool. Yeah, I've mostly been playing game books lately. I just haven't had time to play any of the bigger games. I'm pretty busy right now. But the game books I've played lately are Holdout and Bismarck Solitaire and that Hostage Rescue Squad, I think it was called. Those are the 3 main ones, and then some of the old Steve Jackson game books. I noticed that on Amazon.com right now, you can buy the first 30 choose-your-own-adventure books for $150 now, which I think is a pretty good deal. I mean, sometimes on eBay, those things go for close to $10 and stuff, used ones. So I think that's a really good deal. as far as the Steve Jackson and Ian Livingston ones, you're not going to get a good deal on those. I mean, there's still some that are still in production. Those are generally about $15, and the old ones, you're generally not getting them for less than about $10 for a used copy.
Yeah. Also, I'm doing is play testing my Wilderness Adventure game. One thing I did, I had a skirmish between the Bigfoot and various groups of people. I had first a three sword and buckler men taking on Bigfoot, and then after trying that a few times, I had taken on 3 soldiers with assault rifles. And that one, well, you have a better chance with Bigfoot if you have assault rifles. Because one thing, Bigfoot, not only is he above human strength and dexterity, he has enhanced senses, which means he has a better chance of surprising you and getting a few free attacks. It's strange when you find out that he gets about, you roll, find out he gets 3 free attacks, so you have in your party 1 dead person, 1 seriously wounded one who passed out, so you all by yourself. But, and also, I replayed the first basic game scenario, where you are lost in the wilderness. And I played it 3 times, like yesterday. That's real cool, because, you know, it takes about 15 minutes to play this. I managed to survive all of them, and in all 3 of them, the character was exhausted. And maybe in a day or 2 more, he would have died. So, you know, you just got out. So maybe, you know, I figure, my philosophy is if you don't like the basic game, you're not going to play everything. So this had enough balance that it's tough, but it's survivable. I mean, and if I had a few bad rolls, you know, when checking for no food or no water, it would have been different. So.
Interesting.
So. That's basically it. Oh, and also I'm setting up, since this is August, I decided this year's World War I game is going to be August 1914, the infantry attack system.
Who's that by? What?
Avalanche Press.
Avalanche Press. Oh, okay.
It's a Panzer Grenadier system in World War I. I'm picking like the second or third scenario where you have 32 Russian units, infantry companies versus the Germans have 24. In real life, what happened was the Germans got a little cocky and advanced a little too far and found themselves outnumbered by the Russians.
How bloody is it? Is it representative of real World War I, where people were getting killed left and right?
Yeah, because this is 1914.
I mean, even with the Panzer Grenadier system?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good, because I mean, there's a few World War I games I played out there where it just seemed like it wasn't bloody enough to really represent that war. There's other ones, though, that are extremely bloody.
Yeah, because this one also, I think I have to review. I promised I'd review the rules because World War I has a few different. One is the fact that the infantry units moved 2, not 3. They moved a little slower in those days, probably because of the larger unit. So I gotta see how that goes. But I remember the World War I. When you get in close combat, it gets really rough. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, other than that, the only other stuff I've been doing lately is I'm working on a game book that I'm writing. It's basically about a survivalist rather, who's at a war game convention in Kansas City, and North Korea detonates an atomic bomb in orbit, and it knocks out the entire electrical grid for the United States, all the electronics and stuff, and he's 500 miles from home, and he has to try and find a way to make it his way home, either stealing a bicycle or something or the other, and all sorts of bad things happen to him on the way home. So I'm still working on that. I've only got like 35 passages done for it. It's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure thing, except there's some
stealing bicycles, shame on you.
Yeah, except there's some cases where you have combat and stuff. But yeah, that's a work in progress. That's going to be a while before that's done. And other than that, I've just been playing a lot of computer games too.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, I know this is a short episode, but like I said, I've been extremely busy lately, and my wife is having a party that I have to get to soon. So have a good evening, everyone.
All right.